quick outline of the presentation. Is this a good volume or should I? Okay, this is a good volume, okay. So what we'll be going over is first going over different types of information for different purposes. So looking at what types of information is available out there and for what purpose, and as well as like where to find them, how to create efficient search strategies, basically how to use an academic database and why you should use one, and a brief overview of citation management software. Alright, so everyone's used the library search page, yes? It's a very large database. It basically searches everything that exists in the UofT library system, engineering, and outside of engineering as well. Even if you're on the engineering library website, that little search bar, that's still the entire catalog. It's not engineering specific. So we actually have put together a list of tips for how to use library search effectively. And I can send you this presentation afterwards, so you have all the links. Great. So different types of resources. If you're looking for a general overview, books and textbooks, technical data, and other like that type of information will be in handbooks. If you're looking for primary research or like literature reviews, things like that, you would look for journal articles. And if you're looking for conference papers or more cutting-edge research, you would look in conference proceedings. And so all of these different types of resources are going to be found in different places. So if you're looking for handbooks, those have a different database from journal articles. Again, here's some more types. Government reports would be Government reports are usually found on government websites, or they're usually repositories of that type of information. Patents, standards, and codes, again, they all have different places, and we will be going over where to find them because we have organized very nicely where you can find each type. Okay, so this is, has everyone been on the engineering library website? Yes? It's different from the regular library website because we have
the nice picture?
The beautiful picture, yes. So we have the search bar. We have put together quick links to major engineering resources. So these are the most relevant databases that you will likely be using. So you can just go to those databases instead of having to search in the library search bar. And we've also put together guides, subject-specific guides, so that depending on which field of engineering you're part of, you can use one of the guides to as a sort of starting point and to learn more where you can find more information on your topics. Here's where you can find government information. Again, we have a municipal resources library guide, and the Ontario Building Code is just available online for everyone to look at. Right. We now move on to creating efficient search strategies. Now that we've gone over where to find different types of resources, and you've determined, okay, you need this resource or this other resource. So you want to go back to your research question. So first, take some time to develop your keywords. Your keywords are the most important part of your search because that is the foundation of your research. So you want to take some time to develop them and really think about them. So you want to write down the question you're trying to answer. Then from that question, identify key concepts and terms, which will then be your keywords. And then afterwards, you'll want to think of synonyms. So just in case, for example, two different researchers might use the same, might be talking about the same concept, but they'll use different words depending on maybe the time period they did their research in, maybe just regional differences. One institution uses a different convention than another institution. So you want to try to think of some synonyms so you can catch all of the resources related to a certain topic so that you're not missing anything. So I have an example question. So if we're looking at the remediation of mercury from contaminated groundwater, so from this question, we can extract some keywords. So remediation, mercury, and groundwater. And then this is a little diagram that we like to use just as a way to kind of visualize how, like, the keyword creation. So we can put our three main key concepts in the columns, and then across you'll be thinking of your synonyms. So remedial, decontamination, aquatic systems, groundwater with space, and heavy metals. Does this make sense to everyone? Very clear? Okay. So now we're going to talk about what makes a good keyword. So a good keyword is meaningful. So it's also commonly used. So we'll go a bit more into that. So when I say meaningful, I mean to avoid using words such as compare, contrast, judgment words, because those don't add a lot of meaning to your search. There's like just too many articles that will use these types of terms in different ways. And so you don't want to waste a keyword on something that doesn't add that much to your search. And for plurals, we'll look at the asterisk a bit more in detail later in the presentation, but you don't need to use plurals as your synonyms because there are ways to catch plurals without using a keyword. Okay, is everyone familiar with Boolean logic? That's a familiar concept, yeah. It's pretty straightforward. The AND operator will only search articles that have both the words cat and dog, and which narrows down your search. If you find that your searches are giving you too many results and you're just wading through like thousands and thousands of articles, you can use the AND operator to kind of narrow things down a bit. The OR operator does the opposite thing. So if you find that too few results, you're only getting maybe like 25, 50 results and none of them are relevant, you can try using the OR operator to kind of broaden it and add more results to your pool. So what that looks like here is that we're going to connect your concepts with the AND operator, and then you're going to connect your synonyms with the OR operator. Does this diagram make sense? So that when you're using OR with your synonyms, you're kind of like widening your net, so you're going to catch all the synonyms, but you're trying to restrict your search to only results that have all three of their concepts in them. This is what a search string will generally look like. Most databases are set up so that the user interface is a lot easier to use, so you will pretty much never have to actually type all of this out, but it's kind of good to see like what the database is kind of converting your search into. So you'll notice what quotation marks around aquatic system, heavy metal, and the asterisk as truncation. So the asterisk is a truncation operator. So when you put an asterisk at the end of a string of letters, it basically says, okay, search for the string of letters, and anything after that can be variable. So if you put an asterisk after inclusive, you get inclusive, inclusivity, inclusion, and you don't have to use any of those other words like as a keyword. Be careful about where to put the asterisk because you might come up with, it might give you back some words that you might not have thought about and aren't relevant. So, but generally this is how you will search for plurals. And the quotation marks essentially just tell the database, I want you to keep this phrase together. If you don't have the quotation marks, it'll search for both of the words anywhere in the document, but if you put quotation marks around it, it will only search for that specific phrase. in the document. Again, this is just, so once you have carried out your initial search, then you will have kind of your initial like set of results. Then once you start looking through them, you can see, was this search, did it give me what I wanted? And if not, how can, you can go back and revise it. So searching, it's not really a one and done process, it's an iterative process. So you were going to want to go back and revise your search and try to just to figure out, okay, can I make it better? Can I search for different things? Maybe depending on the results you get, your search question will change. So it is a bit of a process, so it's not just, I'm going to create the perfect search and only do it once. And you will also, it's also a good idea to save your searches. So literally you can just copy and paste these, the search string into a Word document or a Notepad document, just to kind of keep track of what you've already done. If you start revising and you're just kind of oh, you've gone down a path that, oh, I'm getting nothing relevant anymore. You can kind of make your way back and just see, okay, where did I go wrong? Where is another path that I can take that would lead you to a better place? If you create an account with most databases, if you create an account with that database, they'll automatically save your searches for you. But otherwise, I think it's safest to just have a Word document or something with your searches. And then after you carry out your search, you can update your concept box. When you first do your search, you can look at some of the results, and maybe by reading some of the abstracts, you find a word or a phrase that you haven't heard used before. And then you can add that to your search and see if you've missed any other articles that have used that word. So we get continuation and pollution. Okay. So you have your search now. So now we're going to talk about databases. So I'm assuming you've all used Google Scholar, yes? Library search, yeah? Have any of you used Scopus? No, it's mixes, yeah? Okay. And have any of you used some subject-specific databases, like Compendex? Okay. Fewer people have used, okay. Yeah, so at this point in your research, once you get into kind of more late stages of research, you'll want to start moving away from Google Scholar and library search and more towards subject-specific databases. They, are not curated exactly, but they collect more subject-relevant journal articles and results. So Google Scholar, it has everything. If you put something into Google Scholar, it'll give you thousands and thousands of results. Not all of them are from scholarly. Not all of them are from reputable scholarly sources, which is one disadvantage. And again, it's just a lot of information. Subject-specific databases, since they collect more subject-specific information, they also have more tools for you to be able to search through the results. So you have things like controlled vocabulary, which is how results are indexed. So it's easier to search for, so the information is better organized. They're usually run by experts in the field, so it's not just a kind of an algorithmic aggregation of results. And it's generally if you are working with materials or with chemicals, for example, SciFinder will have more will have more chemical properties, they'll have more technical information, and so that's where you would find more specific information. I'm going to do a small demo of the databases so you can see what it looks like. So, Engineering Computer Science Library. I'm just going to go to Compendex, which is a subject-specific database for engineering. it looks like. So you have your search bar up here. So what is it? Remediation. And then you can add a search field. You will see there's a little drop-down menu of your Boolean operators. So and, let's see.
Mercury, pure and water.
Thank you. And, so you have your three concepts, and then within the search bar you can just type or and so on. Run your search. So you can see up here, it has your search history for you. If you create an account, it'll save that. And because if you don't have an account, it just saves it within one session. And so if I X out of this, my search history will be gone. All right, so it gave me 131 records. So, all right. Does anyone know what controlled vocabulary is? Has anyone used this filter before? A controlled vocabulary is basically, it's a set of terms that was created by subject experts, and it's a way to organize articles by topic so that it's consistent. So like when I mentioned that like researchers might be using different terms for the same concept, this is to kind of avoid like losing resources to that type of inconsistency. And so when you say that 131 results, that's still too many, you can look through the controlled vocabulary and you can filter out, maybe you only want to look at rivers. So you can limit it to rivers, or you can do the opposite, you don't want to look at rivers at all, then you can exclude it. What else can you do here? If you go to, you have other filters here. If you only want very recent research, you can filter out by year. You can, if you only want research, sometimes people only want research from certain institutions or from certain countries, so you can also filter that out. And then if you are doing a literature search, this is something that might be helpful for you. Not a good one. Oh, if you are doing a literature search, you can also sort by citation. So that you can look at, you can just have the most cited papers at the top, so you can look at like what sources researchers are citing the most.
So would that be under sort by?
Thank you. I just didn't see that. Yeah, that's sort.
What about sort by at the top? You can put it just below the green search bar. Higher up. In the middle. There, but in the middle. Sort by, is that?
No. Can't be that. I know there is a way to do this. It's been a while since I've done this website. If I figure out how to do it, I'll let you know. But you can look at these citations. certain article. So you can still kind of see which articles are being talked about in what conversations. And then if you're doing a literature search, you can just look, you can do like, has anyone heard of like backwards chaining, forward chaining strategy, which you go through a certain article's citations to figure out, to find other research? Yeah. Okay, so that's Compendex. Most other art databases are going to look exactly the same as that. Scopus is also made by Elsevier, so it's going to look similar. Again, you have your little search bar, you can have a search field, there's a Boolean operator. Right. Great. Does anyone have any questions so far? Is everything pretty, yes?
What is the best strategy to select a database? Do you recommend us to focus on a specific database or try or query different databases?
That's up to your judgment, just because databases will contain different type of resources. So, like Compendex is an Elsevier project, so it'll have like the Elsevier collection of journals. But Web of Science is from a different organization, so it'll have a different collection as well. So,
but for example, Google Scholar and Scopus.
Yeah. So again, it depends on what you want to do with, because Google Scholar is, I think, fine for if you're just kind of starting out in your research, especially like with undergrads. A lot of undergrads will use Google Scholar just kind of because since they don't really know, like their research isn't as like focused yet. Google Scholar is usually fine, but when you get into more higher level research, you'll want to start using the subject-specific databases like Scopus or Compendex. Anything else? Great. Okay. How many of you use citation management software? Most people? Most of you? Okay, great. We're not going to spend that much time on it, other than organize your references, keep track of citations, and collaborate with others. Again, we know all of this already, so I can just point you to the citation management resources we have, just in case you're looking for some sort of functionality that you might not already have. You can see if the software will do so. So we do have guides put together for citation management resources, and yeah, if you need more help with citation, again, we have guides for that as well. We have many resources for you that we've already put together, so I'm not going to like spend a lot of time going over everything. You can look at them yourself. But again, so I've also put together, if you are having issues with your research, here are a few other places where you can go for help. So first, I'm the liaison librarian for civil engineering. I think that's what most of you are in. Yeah. So you can email me. Always happy to help. I do one-on-one research consultations, and so you can email me with your question and a few dates that you're available, and we can make an appointment. We have a reference desk, so if you want help immediately and you maybe don't want to do like a full like a research appointment, then you can come to our reference desk. It's open. We're open pretty much every day. Our hours are on the website, and we also have virtual reference services with Ask Chat. So if you are at home and you don't want to go in, you can use the virtual reference services, and that's basically just like a little like instant messenger program. With the Ask Chat, it's run by different librarians, so you might not get like an engineering specialist if you use Ask Chat, but they're still going to be helpful. They can still try to help you with your research. Right. That's everything I have for you. Again, any